Hello, you are welcome to my accounting channel once again. For the sake of those who don't know me and they are watching my video for the first time, I will first introduce myself. My name is Daniel Amakun, an ACCA Chartered Accountant. I have provided accounting services such as bookkeeping and other accounting services, including teaching accounting for more than 20 years. Today, our lesson is balancing of an account. Let us get into the video now. Well, I've prepared these simple notes so that I'll go through gradually so that by the end of the lesson, you really know how to balance an account. Most accountants do not know how to balance an account. So as an accountant, you are a professional accountant. And as a professional accountant, you should know everything concerning accounts, including the petty things of accounting. So if you're an accountant and you don't know the simple thing of balancing accountant, then you find it very difficult in getting clients, because the clients will realize that although you are an accountant, you are not really a professional accountant. A professional accountant should make sure that he is good in all aspects of accounting. So let us start. As I said, today our lesson is balancing of accounts. So our learning objectives: A, to close an account when it's appropriate. B, balance of accounts at the end of the period and bring down the opening balance to the next period. And C, distinguish between a debit balance and a credit balance. So let us start. 1, accounts are usually balanced at the end of the period, mostly monthly, to know the business performance, and also at the end of the year to assess the overall performance of the business, so as to take corrective measures if necessary. So let me explain. Every account should be balanced. 1, at the end of the month, and secondly, at the end of the year. At the end of the month, we balance the account so that we will be able to assess the performance of the business during the month. And at the end of the year, we balance the account so also to assess the overall performance throughout the year. So in balancing at the account at the end of the month and at the end of the year, if there's any corrective measures, the business is not able to perform, then the business can be well scrutinized or reviewed so that the necessary corrective measures can be put in place so that the business can perform well. Let us go on. And to balance account, there are necessary steps to take. So let us go through the steps. To balance an account, these are the procedures. A, total the debit side and the credit side. B, identify the side with the highest amount. C, close the highest side first by writing the total sum and underline it. D, close the side with the lower amount by writing the highest amount on this side. I take it again. D, close the side with the lower amount by writing the highest amount on this side also and underline it. You then have to find the difference between both sides and insert it in the lower side and write balance carried down against it. That is into bracket balance carried down, C/D. Send the difference to the next period as balance brought down into bracket balance B/D. The date of the balance carried down should be the last day of the month. And the date of the balance brought down should be the last date of the month. So all that I'm trying to say is that the first thing that you have to do when you want to balance the account, that in accounting, the T account, you have two sides. The debit column, that is the left-hand side, and the credit column, which is the right-hand side. So first, to balance the account, you total both sides. That's the first step. Then the second step is that the one with the highest amount, you close it that side first by writing the amount, the summary or the total of the amount, and then you underline it. Then the next step is that you also go to the side with the lower amount, write the highest amount, also they underline it. Then the next step is that you find the difference between them. Then you set it in the lower side and write balance carried down. The balance carried down, they should be the last day of the month. Then carry down to the next month. So the next month, it will be balance brought down, which is the first day of the next month. So let us look at an example. So example. This example shows a bank account. And the bank account, we go to the left-hand side, which is the debit side. We have the date, details, amount. So we come to the right-hand side, also the same thing, date, details, and amount. Then we go to the debit side. That is the left-hand side. We have the dollar, the amount shows the dollar. And we have first a transaction, 7 July, it is cash. The amount is $100,000. Then the second transaction, 19 July, Morris Limited. The amount is 30,000. Now we go to the credit side, that's the right-hand side. The first transaction is 9 July. The details is van, $25,000. The second transaction, 18 July, computer, $12,000. And the third transaction, which is 21st July, the details is what furniture, and the amount involved is $9,000. Okay, let us go. Then the solution, A, that's the first step. Total the debit side and the credit side. So when you total it, you realize that the left-hand side, which is the debit side, is 130,000. And the right-hand side, with the credit side, is 46,000. So when we added it, the debit side is $130,000, and the credit side is $46,000. The second step, identify the side with the highest amount. So the highest amount is what? Is the left-hand side, with the debit side, it's $130,000. So you should have the $130,000 have written underneath it and underlined. Then this has to be $46,000. This is the right hand side, that's the credit side. So the next stage is that the higher side, which is the debit side, is grouped up first because the higher side. The amount is what? $130,000. It is written underneath the debit totals and underlined as shown above, as I have explained. Then see the third step. Close the side with the lower amount by writing the highest amount on this side also and underline it. So the same thing, we come to the left-hand side and also the highest amount, which is the $130,000. $100,000 also have been written and underlined. So the lower side, which is the credit side, is also close to the highest amount of $130,000 and underlined as indicated above. D, you then have to find the difference between both sides and insert it in the lower side and write balance carried down against it. That's into bracket. Balance C/D. Send the difference to the next period as balance brought down into bracket. Balance B/D. The date of the balance carried down should be the last day of the month, and the date of the balance brought down should be the first date of the month. So let us look at it. So as we see, the difference, which is 84,000, has been set at the lower side. And the date is 31st July, which is the last day of the month. And the details the balance carried out, which is balance C/D. It has been carried down to the next period, which is the first date, 1st of August, as well. Balance border, which is balance B/D, and the amount is what? For $84,000. The difference, that is $84,000, is inserted in the lower side. That is the credit side, and balance carried down written against it. It is carried to the next month, which is the month of August, and balance brought down written against it. Also note that the date of the balance carried down is the last day of July, which is 31st July. And the date of the balance brought down is the first day, that is the 1st of the next month of what? August. So as I explained, the different balance carried down, which is 84,000, the date 31st of 31st July, with the last day of the month, have been carried down to the next month, which is 1st of August. Balance brought down, balance be $84,000. Okay, so I hope this is well understood. Let us go. Our second lesson is that when both sides are the same, that is, when the T account, both sides are the same, what will you do? When both sides are the same, just underline both of them. So let us look at an example. So this is an example of bank account. We have the debit side, which is the right-hand side. The date is 7 July. This is cash, and the amount is $100. When we come to the right-hand side with the credit side, also we have the date of the last 9th July. It is buying, and the amount is $100,000. So we can see that both sides are what? $100,000. So let's look at how the solution. The solution is that we just underline both of them as shown. That is when both sides are the same, underline both sides as shown above. So we just underline them, this one and this one, that's all. Our third lesson, one amount to, that is when the T account contains only a single transaction. What should you do? When account contains one entry, the same amount should be written at the opposite side. The account closed and the amount carried down to the next period. So let us look at example. This is a capital account, and we have only one entry. It's date 9 July. It is cash, $200,000. There's nothing. It's on the credit side. That's the left-hand side. When you come to the debit side, that is the right-hand side. There's nothing there. So what should you do? The account shows one entry, $200,000 on the credit side. It will be closed as shown below. So in closing it, we just write $200,000. The date should go 31st July because we are carried down to the next floor. Balance carried down, $200,000. And it has been underlined to the next floor, which is 1st August. Balance brought down, $200,000. So the amount $200,000 is written on the opposite side, as I said, on the opposite side, debit side, and both amount underlined. So we have underlined both. then it is carried down. That is into bracket balance C/D into bracket close to the next month. That's the 1st of August as balance brought down, balance B/D. Let us continue. Now, our next lesson, receivables. In accounting, when we say receivables, what is the meaning? A receivable is anyone who owes the business money. If the total of the debit side exceeds the total of the credit side, the balance is said to be a debit balance. The account being a personal account, that is into bracket in the name of a person, the person concerned is said to be what? A receivable to the business. So all that I'm saying that at times when you look at an account, you realize that the debit side exceeds the credit side. So we say that what is a debit balance. And normally it is in the name of a person. Because it's the name of the person, we say that the person is what? A receivable to the business. So that is what we mean by receivable. That is the person. It can be a person or organization is owing the business. That's why it's a debit balance. Let's look at an example. So example, this brown account. And on the left-hand side, we have details, amount. And the first transaction is 7 July. The date is 7 July. Details says an amount is $90,000. Second transaction, 19 July, says the amount is $30,000. When we come to the right-hand side with the credit side, it has only one transaction date, which is 9 July, and details bank. The amount is what? $70,000. And let's see how we saw it. So this will be the first step that you total the debit side and the credit side. So the brown account, we total it, and we see that the debit side is 120,000 and the credit side is 70,000. So if you add up the figures, the debit side is $120,000 and the credit side is $70,000. B, that's the second step. Identify the side with the highest amount. The next stage is that the higher side, which is the debit side, is closed out first and underlined. So let us look at it. So we see that the debit side is the highest amount, 120,000, and it has been underlined. So the amount $128,000 is written underneath the debit totals and underlined as shown above, as I said. So the next steps, the third step, close the side with the lower amount by writing the highest amount on this side, also underlined. So this is the highest amount. It has been what? Underlined. Now when we come here, the same thing. The highest amount has been written also here, which is $120,000 and underlined. The amount $120,000 is also written underneath the credit side totals and underlined as shown above, as I've said. D, the next step, you then have to find the difference between both sides and insert it in the lower side and write balance carried down against it. That's into bracket. Balance C/D. Send the difference to the next period as balance brought down into bracket. Balance B/D. The date of the balance carried down should be the last day of the month, and the date of the balance brought down should be the first date of the next month. So as we see, the difference, which is $50,000, has been carried down to the next. So we see that the date is 31st July. This is a balance carried down, $50,000. It has brought down to the next month, which is 1st August. Balance brought down, $50,000. In closing the account of Mr. Brown, the difference is $50,000. As into bracket, $120,000 minus $70,000. This is balance carried down at 31st July to the following month. That is 1st August as balance brought down, which is a debit balance. This indicates that Mr. Brown is a receivable to the business. As I said, Mr. Brown is a debit balance. So Mr. Brown is owing the business $50,000. So Mr. Brown is a receivable to the business. Let us continue. Now, our next lesson. Accounting, where we say payables. What is the meaning of payables? Anyone the business owes money is called payable. So the other way around, a business may also owe other person or organization. And we say that that person is what? Payable to the business. And it is always what? A credit balance. That's why we say that once it's a credit balance, the person, other the business organization, then that particular business is owing the person or family. So let us look at an example. This is the Davidson account. And the account show that on the left-hand side, the date, only one transaction, 15 July. Sorry. 15 July, details cash, amount, $30,000. Now, when we come to the right-hand side, that's the credit side. We have two transactions. Date 9th July, the details is purchases. The amount is $80,000. The second transaction, 18th July, the same purchases. The amount is $40,000. Okay, let's see how we close this particular. The solution, that's the first step. Total the debit side and the credit side. So we total the debit side, which is still $30,000, and the credit side, which is $120,000. If we add up the figures, the credit side is $120,000, and the debit side is $30,000. B, that's the second step. Identify the side with the highest amount. The next stage is that the highest side, which is the credit side, is closed out first and underlined. So let us look at it. So when we come here, is the highest amount. On the credit side, that's what the right-hand side is, 120,000, it has been underlined. So the amount, $120,000, is written underneath the credit totals and underlined as shown above. The third step, close the side with the lower amount by writing the highest amount on this side also and underlined. So when we come here, we come to the lower side, which is the left-hand side, the debit side. $120,000 has also been written here and also underlined. The amount $120,000 is also written underneath the debit totals and underlined as shown above. Now the next stage. Now the final stage is that you then have to find the difference between both sides and insert it in the lower side and write balance carried down against it. That's into brackets, balance C/D. Send the difference to the next plot as balance brought down into bracket balance B/D. The date of the balance carried down should be the last day of the month, and the date of the balance brought down should be the first day of the next month. So let us look at it. So we see that you see that the difference, which is $90,000, it has been carried down to the next row. So we have the date 31st July with the last day of the month, and the details balance carried down $90,000 to the next period, which is what 1st August, balance brought down $90,000. In closing the account of Mr. Davidson, The difference is $90,000. 120,000 into bracket, $120,000 minus $30,000. This is balance carried down. The date is 31st July. That's the last day of the month. To the following month, 1st August, as balance brought down, which is a credit balance. This indicates that Mr. Davidson is payable to the business. So we see that it is what? A credit balance to the next period. So it means that Mr. Davidson is owing the business. So he is a payable to the business. Well, we have come to the end of this particular lesson. So I hope right now, when we say balance an account, you'll be able to balance it. It's very simple and very easy. So let's see our learning outcomes. Our learning outcomes are able to close account when it's appropriate. Right now, we can able to close account at the right time. Mostly, I say mostly it's at the end of the month and also at the end of the year. B, we can now balance an account at the end of the period and bring it down as open balance to the next period, as I've indicated. You carry it down the last day of the month to the following month, the first day of the following month as a balance brought down, as we have indicated. C, understand a debit balance. Right now we understand a debit balance, which is a receivable. And we also understand a credit balance, which is payable. Well, we have come to the end of the lesson. Thank you very much for watching. One thing that I want you to do is that go over, watch the video several times, because accounting is a principle. And the more you watch it, the more you understand it, the more it becomes familiar to you. Also, as indicated in my introduction video, I'm an ACCA chartered accountant. I provide bookkeeping and other accounting services, including tuition. So if you want me to keep your books for you or provide any other accounting services, and also if you want me to teach you accounting, you can be an accounting student or a business person or anybody who wants to learn accounting. You can contact me by my email below. Thank you very much for watching. The last thing that I want you to know is that you have to practice more questions. And I said, it's a principle. The more you practice, the more you understand, the more you become familiar to you. And as we say, practice makes man perfect. So practice more questions. If you need more questions, you can contact me by my email below, and I'll give you more questions. Bye. And also, I make videos every week. So what I want you to do is that you have to like and share the video so that I will be encouraged. And also comment for improvement. Subscribe so that my weekly videos can be sent to you. Bye till we meet again. Watch out for my next video. Bye.